In our last video, we broke down the different Disney resort levels, value, moderate, and deluxe, and helped you figure out which on-property resort might be the best fit for your trip. But after watching that video, a lot of people probably had the same question. Do we really need to stay on Disney property? Maybe you started looking at prices. Maybe you noticed nearby hotels that were a lot cheaper. Or maybe you found a vacation rental with more space and thought, should we just stay off-site instead? And this is where planning a first Disney trip can start to feel overwhelming. Because staying on Disney property can make things easier, but staying off property can save money. And both options come with trade-offs that aren't always obvious at first. So today, we're breaking down on-property versus off-property, what each option is really like, and how to decide which one makes the most sense for your Disney trip. And if you haven't seen that value versus moderate versus deluxe video yet, I'll link it in the description so you can check it out after this one. Let's start with staying on Disney property. This means you're staying at a Disney-owned resort, and that includes value, moderate, and deluxe levels. No matter which level you choose, you get access to the same core on-property benefits. One of the biggest is transportation. When you stay on property, all Disney transportation is included. Boats, buses, the monorail, and the Skyliner, depending on where you stay, they get you to and from the parks without needing to drive. You don't have to deal with traffic. You don't have to think about parking. You just show up, and Disney handles the logistics. You also get early theme park entry, which lets you enter the parks before off-property guests. For first-time visitors, that early start can be huge. Shorter lines in the morning often set the tone for the entire day and help things feel less rushed right from the start. Now let's talk about one of the biggest planning advantages, lightning lanes. When you stay on Disney property, you can book lightning lanes 7 days in advance of your check-in date. That gives you a real head start when planning your park days. If you're staying off property, lightning lane selections don't open until 3 days in advance. By the time that window opens, on-property guests have already had several days to book, which means some of the most popular rides and the best return times may already be gone, especially during busy seasons. For first-time Disney guests, that extra planning window really matters. It gives you more options, more flexibility, and a better chance to build your days around the rides you actually want instead of working around what's left. And if you're driving to Disney, there's another perk a lot of people don't realize. Parking is free. You get free parking at your Disney resort and free parking at the theme parks. No daily resort parking fees, not paying to park at Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, or anywhere else. Another underrated benefit of staying on property is how much easier midday breaks become. When your resort is on Disney property, it's much easier to leave the park, rest, swim, grab a nap, and then head back later. That flexibility can be a game changer, especially with kids, older travelers, or during hotter months. All of these things come together within the Disney bubble. The Disney bubble isn't just about where you stay, it's about how the entire trip feels once you arrive. When you stay on Disney property, everything feels connected. Your resort connects to the parks. Your transportation lines up with your park plans. Your days just flow. You're not checking GPS every morning. You're not wondering how long traffic will take. You're not thinking about where you parked or how far that walk back after a park day is going to be. You wake up, grab breakfast, and hop on Disney transportation. And from that point on, Disney is guiding the day. If you're tired, it's easy to head back to your resort. If plans change, you're not locked into a long drive. If the weather turns bad, it's easy to pivot. For first-time guests especially, this matters. Your first Disney trip already comes with a learning curve. The parks are big, the systems are new, There's a lot happening all at once. Staying inside the Disney bubble removes a layer of decision making. You're not managing a vacation and managing logistics. You're just enjoying the experience. The Disney bubble isn't about luxury, it's about ease. And for a first Disney trip, ease can make all the difference. Now, let's talk about staying off Disney property. This usually means staying at a non-Disney hotel or a vacation rental like a condo or a house near Walt Disney World. For a lot of families, this option looks appealing right away, mostly because of the price. Off-property hotels often advertise a lower nightly rate, and at first glance, it can look like a really good deal. And you also tend to get more space, separate bedrooms, a full-size refrigerator, or even a full kitchen, more room for everyone to spread out, especially helpful for larger families or longer stays. But this is where first-time guests really need to slow down and look at the full picture. When you stay off property, transportation is on you. That usually means either renting a car or relying on Uber or Lyft. If you rent a car, you're paying for the rental itself, gas, and theme park parking, which is currently $35 per day. If you use Uber or Lyft, you avoid parking fees, but you're still paying per ride, and prices can vary depending on demand. On top of transportation, many off-property hotels also charge daily resort fees, which aren't always included in the advertised price. And some nearby hotels do offer shuttles to the park, but they're often limited. They run on fixed schedules, they may only serve certain parks, and they don't always line up well with early mornings or late nights. Because of that, many off-property guests still end up relying on a car or rideshare. And once you leave the park, most families don't want to deal with traffic or transportation again, which makes midday breaks harder to pull off. Off-property isn't a bad choice, it's just a different kind of Disney trip. You're trading convenience and simplicity for more space and a potentially lower base price, as long as you factor in those added costs. So, when you really step back and compare these side by side, the decision usually comes down to convenience versus cost. Staying on property gives you that 7-day window for lightning lanes, free parking and the included Disney transportation, early theme park entry. If you're a deluxe resort guest, you get access to extended evening hours, and the ease and flow of the Disney bubble. The trade-off for staying on property is that nightly rates are usually higher. You're paying more up front, but you're removing a lot of stress and decision making, which can be a big deal on a first Disney trip. Staying off property often gives you more space and lower nightly rates before fees. But the trade-offs include the 3-day Lightning Lane booking window, $35 per day theme park parking, possible rental car or Uber and Lyft costs, and more planning around transportation and timing. So here's the simplest way to think about it. If this is your first Disney trip and you want the smoothest, least stressful experience possible, on property usually wins, even if it costs more per night. If you're comfortable managing logistics, want more space, and are focused on keeping the base price lower, off property can absolutely work, as long as you budget for the extras. There's no wrong choice here, but for first-time Disney guests, convenience usually matters more than people expect. If you're planning your first Disney vacation and still deciding, drop a comment down below and tell me how many people are in your group, how long you're staying, and whether you're interested in staying on property or off property. And if this video helped, be sure to like it, subscribe to the channel for more Disney planning tips, and as always, I'm Doug, and I'll see you on Main Street.